Hello, internet. Why am I showing a picture of random crap? Well, Dora has a lovely, comfortable bed that I have specially put a special sleepy thing on her for. So, you know, she has somewhere to sleep because I love her. And it's important that she has somewhere lovely to sleep. So she's been sleeping in that box, which is not somewhere lovely to sleep. It's just got a bunch of stuff I ordered off Amazon on Prime Day. Very exciting monitor stand, which I'm now using so I can have 4 monitors. I can see the chat. Hello, chat. So the question is, will Dora A, sleep on the comfortable cushion, which is there for her, B, in the box, or C, will she realise that it's a trap and try and sleep somewhere else? So far we're going with option C. I'm just going to slightly move her scratching post, so there's a chance. She's quite funny when she uses it, so I will move it around. Perfect. On my desk. Just so love cable ties. Also, I like having a camera so I can watch her. Not because I'm weird, because I'm not a very photogenic demon currently hiding. Also funny, because she doesn't really understand cameras. It's always funny watching her when she doesn't think she's always been amused by cats. Sometimes she does something naughty on camera, so I get to shout, what are you doing? And she's her eyes in the back of your head, father. Anyway, so where are we in FortressCraft? Slow, but understandably and expectedly slow. So I will be doing further work on the lighting today. So last week, if you remember, we had we were learning together. So one of the things we were learning about is how Unity in the HDRP pipeline does the lighting. So we have the issue that the sky colour isn't based on the sun. The sky colour is based on, I control the colour of the sky. Which is slightly confusing. So I can have a very bright sun and a dark sky. It also makes sense because in reality, of course, our sky, that's the reason you don't have the reason you don't have very dark shadows is because the sky is looking for something to play, but she'll get bored at some point. So one thing I want to start by doing is that, because I kind of got to the concept of the sky, I did put a hack in for start of underground, which confused. So undo that little and I don't understand. I never open these up in another editor. Why do you ask me if I want to change the line endings? Start of the underground's there. That one directly in the readout, I think. Start of underground reference, it'll be. What I probably want is not to use global depth. Atmospheric depth, I guess. Oh, she's at her food bowl. Still searching for references. It's not that big a project. Right, you found one reference to it. Well, I can find another Oh, right, no, it's still... Oh, my God. Why is it so slow? We predicate off that. Okay. Atmospheric depth equals global depth. Yeah, we don't. We now have an atmospheric depth that drops below night and day. And do we control the gradient sky? Gradient sky is... Anyway, I'm not late. A wizard starts precisely when he means to. Plus, I did actually get an Astro Trucks build out, and I've done quite a lot of reasonably exciting things in Astro Trucks. So there was that, and then I had to go and die. I hope that's right that I don't die. Okay, so the... This is the... Unity has gone towards these volumes and stuff. The problem is I just have to keep going through them till I find the one that works. Here we go, gradient sky. Okay. So did I actually make this HDR? Yes. Now that's probably a little bit silly. So those should be not HDR. I actually have a chance of modifying. I'll type 1 in there. 1. What the... Dot intensity is 0. Oh no, 0 is no change, isn't it? Yeah. I'm not being wrong, right? 0, return, close, open, 3. Slider. Well, that's override, so I guess it doesn't matter. So the bottom is always white. Oh. This will help. Oh, I won't want to get the... Oh, do I not have the... of a cat. Yeah, because we have the primary one, don't have the secondary one, so I might have to calculate the secondary one. I don't know why we have a modulate by day flag, because color controls. I did start to get more organized towards the end of FortressCraft's development. Stuff got more... Oh, okay, that is just... It exists in a random place, so let's not you know, stick it around and price. Yes, we essentially need one of these to exist somewhere, but I will... Not sure the Horizon Band works, so... It doesn't. I'll tell you what, maybe we should make that work as well. This is the thing, I have so much to do. I don't necessarily have a great order to do it in. I just have a lot to do. So a lot of the time, I can get away with doing whatever I... not whatever I want, but I don't have a particular order stuff needs to happen in. So this is just for me, oh, I should do that, oh, I should do this. It's not me suffering massively from ADHD. It's, I have a huge list of things to do, and whichever one is the most important is not necessarily what was the most important 10 minutes ago. As long as it all gets done, as long as Okay, what the hell is that? So that is a shader called Horizon Band. Oh, it's even a Phoenix shader. Okay. Let us make a shader. Copy. Let me show you how awful these dialogue. Shaders, Phoenix, right click, create. Shader graph, HDR. See these sort of, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 stacks. Have I seen Foundry? I don't know. I'd like to point out, and this is something I actually mentioned before. You have come into my stream and told me about another game. Do you guys continually go into like Foundry streams, go, it's not as good as FortressCraft? Please tell me you do. Because this is the thing, people link me articles about Factorio, and people link me articles about Satisfactory and this and that and this and that and this and that. Yeah, I was planning on having a look at this. Well, you should do. You totally should. So how come? Yeah, you should totally going. Oh, it's not as good as FortressCraft. Yeah, this one is quite a big dev team, as I recall. It looks great, but so does Satisfactory. Yeah, we did have a look at this. The thing is, belts like that have issues, and yeah, so we did touch on this last time. So, what's this shit? So this is where what they've done is they've taken a creative build and said, "Hey, here's our game." Or you're telling me that you've actually got to put railings down next to it. It's a thing, little bit of smoke and mirrors, little bit of bullshittery, and same thing here. Whatever this is, and don't get me wrong, that looks awesome. Either you've got these things in place automatically, and I don't even want to imagine how much of a pain in the ass it is to get to the top of there, or you're going to put it down by hand. But I bet you £1, bet you a year's patronage, that's a creative build, and they've put it together just to make the game look good. Bet you that is not the game. Or it's a prefab and it's a pain in the ass. But yeah, this all looks very good, but this is all obviously bullshittery. And then, right, you've got these beautiful things. Now, watch what happens when this robot stops moving. Slide. Like, dude, what is that? Like, brr, brr. That's awful. That's proper amateur hour. And then you've got this. You're showing this for some reason. Don't get me wrong, FortressCraft UI has got issues, but don't look like that. Is the draw distance somewhat different? But yeah, I mean, that looks sweet. Look at all the physics blocks. And I'm like, do you really have physics like that? Or is that more bullshit for the trailer? Because that looks sweet. I bet you don't look like that. And then also, for your trailer, and again, this is not a one-man dev team, FortressCraft Phoenix, one-man dev team. You couldn't even recolor the robots. I mean, come on. So yeah, again here. Oh no, hold on. I seem to recall there's something about this shot that jumped out at me last time. I think it was just that this is all fake. They've got this nice conveyor belt, and conveyor belt 10 out of 10. They look great. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, then you've got these cables, like, oh. But yeah, this machine here just, yeah, here we go. Yeah, because you've got a railway line that goes nowhere. But the thing is, with this trailer, you build a factory, okay, and if it's just you build a factory, like, with the rare exception of Mindustry, where quite frankly, if you don't stop me, I will just build a factory forever because I get distracted and it's wonderful, I love it. That's not a game. That is a basis for a game. I don't know if it needs lighting particularly. I mean, that's a hand-painted style. That's fine. You know, not every game needs to look the same. No, let's edit that shader. And for those of you who have been following for a while, you'll be pleased to know that I got my monitor back. It broke less than a day. And in fact, I'm just going to extremely briefly chase that because they said they'd pick it up yesterday and they didn't. Oh shoot, no, I sent my message. So Samsung. Because I cannot stand working at this. I just noticed when I just tried to... So, I reckon they're all on 4K screens. On, yeah. I relogged with Samsung. And gotten the new here. I was told that the monitor would be collected on Wednesday. But it's now Friday. And still sitting in a box my hallway. I love doing this. Please advise. Very British way of saying, yeah, fucking get back to me. It broke. They fixed it. It came back. Something different about it broke. So a different backlight broke. The reason I bring this up, I'm running at 1080p. I am out of screen space. Now, I can move some stuff out. Like, I could probably pop the background tasks here. Oh, Windows, what are you doing? What you doing, Windows? Stop that. Now oh, no. Oh, I'm... Won't let me drag it onto my other monitor. So I'm just moving the mouse to the right and it's just wrapping around. Oh my. So I reckon they're all running on 4K screens. And I don't have a 4K screen. 4K screen? Oh, I think I need to do is drag it to there, then drag it across. See, now I can grab it from the other monitor. There we go. Wow. I'll pop that there. And I can put this here. It's just that I don't normally. I tend to use both screens, but I'm normally at higher resolution than this. I have not got around to buying a 4K monitor. Because a decent 4K 32-inch gaming monitor, that's when we start to get expensive. So I've got a 14. Shader. It's not that I'm hiding stuff from you. It's just that I've run out of screen. Okay, here we go. Have a... Excuse me. Ramp. I'm only going to do this very briefly because I am coming back to all of this. At this point, I just want everything to work. A VR AR workspace would not work for streaming, even if that's a sensible idea. Which, but I mean, check how I'm streaming, so you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. I think I'm streaming at 1080. I'm not downscaling. I should be. Right? That's readable. That's no longer readable. I know what they say, but that's readable. And even so, at that size, watch how quickly we run out of real estate. I love shading graph. Don't get me wrong. I think it is the most amazing thing, and I resisted it for ages. And then I tried it, and I realized I can write shaders in. Oh my gosh, like a heartbeat. But I feel like I'm squinting here, but it's not. There's no more pixels. But then if I start to make it a decent size, it's like ah. So things like, why is this flyout so wide? Why not make this flyout wider? Why not make these slightly further apart and these ones slightly closer? Because these don't need to be. They are an output, not input. But genuinely, this stuff is not high enough resolution. Sorry, it's designed for too high a resolution. But not in a good way. Hey, there we go. I'll be honest, that isn't exactly what I was expecting. Let's also output that to the app. Still not. Let's just take the. And now we've got this massive dialogue here, which doesn't do anything. Like, that's not showing me anything. Now, just so I mean, this is designed for a 4K screen. It genuinely is. And that's really annoying. They want transparent rendering path. Full mode. Actually, neither. Oh, yeah, they changed it to be too. Oh. And then you've got this here. Transparent depth. Like, I had to make it very, very wide before it starts. It's just terrible. Yeah, so cull mode is too difficult, so now they just call it double-sided. Which... I suspect that's not quite the right ramp then. What is that? Really want to. That way, want something called. If I create something called color, by default, you see. Oh no, they've changed it. I take it back. They've changed it. It used to be called something just ridiculous. Okay, so we've extracted an alpha. 10 again. Just gonna prove my point, because I realise that some of you are probably watching on a tiny screen. All right, so let's just grab that. It's awful. It's genuinely. I'd much rather, when it got smaller, these things started to get bigger. I mean, I get a base, blend, the opacity. I think that says work. I think that says multiply. But they've left so much room. I mean, it's all very roomy, like, you know. But here we've got the text. It's only taking up half the bar. So you've got this massive gap here. It could do with serious shrinking or the text making bigger. But I've even, and this is why I got another monitor. So I'm now running a 5 monitor setup, and I have to run it slightly different when I'm streaming because obviously you guys actually want to see. Oh, I didn't count it up. I'll be honest, I was expecting more than that, but I think I overrated. Shadowgraph itself is brilliant. I just don't think their interface is. Oh. That's probably not a very accurate horizon, is it? Also, why is that? I should just be seeing a grey band now, but I'm not. I'm just seeing black. Well, why is that green? Why is that not a ramp? I should be just sitting. Let me just connect that. Right, this is the good thing. Debug, yeah. Oh, it's sideways. Yeah, that's all right. Let's see, it's going from. Oh. Horizon band. Oh, it is a sphere. No, never mind. I'm an idiot. Yes, it's a sphere, but it appears to be a sphere that's been mapped wrongly. Apparently. That still looks. Ah, okay, it's because we're. Right, okay. So, okay, I understand now. Yeah. Not been mapped wrongly. It's that we are outside of it, so therefore it's drawing in itself because it doesn't write to the Z. Still wrong. Like, I thought this went from black to. Doesn't. But more importantly, that one is probably a much better thing to use. Horizon band. I can't modulate. There's a thing for offset, tiling and offset. There we go. Now I will be able to do five probably. Now the horizon's at the horizon. That's better. It's a bit better, bit of a better color. Whee! Perfect. I'll be honest, I haven't really got a plan for how this should look. So, well, if I put time into A, yeah, cool. So I can just drop that into a vector 2. I'm assuming that the code underneath is doing something. Then I can put that to a time. That there, and that's a very tiny number. There we go. And ideally, we want to do that twice. This is where shader graph gets super powerful. Now, what I'll do is I'll do that at a negative number that's very different and not quite divisible. Now we should get a effect like that into that there. Better, but what we probably want to do is not multiply. Oh. You know what I think is I don't really want the colours in this either. Oh, that probably should be whatever colour I tell it to be. Oh. That not right. Multiply does the job. I probably want this as additive rendering when I'm done as well. A nice mode here that's going to get me. But yeah, to actually use this node as a preview, I have to zoom in so far. And I am on a 32-inch screen here. There's also no way to use my keys to... Although, let's make the Y module. Certainly a thing, isn't it? Still surprisingly too quick. There we go. That's more, sort of more what I was about. Let's invert one of the Y's. Go. That looks right. Make it less of a... I mean about the cool stuff you can do so quickly. Do I have a saturation? I have no idea how extensive that node is, by the way. That's pretty cool. It would be cooler, though, if I actual UV. Higher frequency than the other. This is only a cheap effect for the far distance, by the way. This isn't a... And now if I hook the alpha... That should just exist on the horizon as a color matched thing. Now, that would have taken me an afternoon or more in HLSL. Shader graph is amazing. Now, I don't know how optimal it is. Been a bit concerned how optimal it is. Thing. Bribe her. I can bribe her. About that in a bit if she doesn't. Okay, so I've also added in the concept now of biome control that doesn't care about other thing, and I think they should have a not that, I think that's never used. What I want is like what I've done is if the ground is green, then the sky will be purple and tints will be orange. I can't remember what my offsets are. Ah, here we go. Quite sure where I'm doing that, but I'm not going to argue. That's okay, and possibly this code should actually live. Looking at it, fog, burst fog. Nice to have it all in a single place, and yeah, oh, that's interesting. Primary offset. I think that is 0. Code a lot, so I'm instant there. That manager's gone. There's a lot of much more complicated stuff I just ain't going near at the minute. Oh, it's 0 and 0.666 apparently. Q is... Oh, we quantize that hue, don't we? Got this here. Get the hue and then we quantize. Yeah, I'm gonna rewrite this because this appears to be doing way too much stuff. Pop this into the atmospherics code. Actually, no, let's not put it in the atmospherics code. Let's pop this into a new class that's called sort of player biome colors or something like that. Like that other class is more or less there, but it does stuff with shader control, and I'd much rather try and keep stuff tidy. So we'll call this global biome colors. So yeah, because I've now had to rearrange it, you can't see what I'm doing when I'm messing around with the hierarchy. Why do I have to wait for you to complete the domain? Oh, I want to stop debugging. Oh, right. Something inside Unity crashed. Unity has put way too much now up in the C# area. It's surprising. They're getting more like Unreal, so if there's a bug, you can fix it. In theory, this means that stuff will update quicker. In practice, what this means is stuff just sits there with them having the fix and not giving to us for ages. So I submitted the fix, the decals. Oh my god. Get rid of this stuff that I was about to write. And probably this should just query back to that. Oh my god! Why is it so slow? Again, whatever you're doing, wait. I'm typing. You should be accepting my typing. And then if you've got to do something, you do it in the background. You don't pop a dialog going, hold on, you did something, and I wait a sec. This is fine. And I think it might be the Unity integration. I don't know that. Now I'm concerned about this because this quantizes it. I think that gets the value at so that turns it from a. It's not quantize, is it? It's like got at the opposite of quantize it. Malcolm, if you're there, the battery is now down to 50%. All right. It's been a very unsunny day. But I think these are 0, 3, and 0 points. I think. But I'll find out. That one might be 0.5. I actually stopped to paste that. I do. I mean, yeah, I don't. I don't know. Maybe to calculate 3 colours. Have so what I might want to do is calculate a nighttime set as well. Let's just do it right. I guess that is a great idea. I don't need to set that. What confuses me, I add rotation to it here, which was 0.5. I mod it, and then I add 0.5 to it again. I will probably add that line of code back in a while when I work out. Like that. Like a night sensitive. If I calculate these in one place, I can refer to them everywhere, as opposed to right now where this code kind of re-exists in all sorts of different angles all over the place. A calculate day night. It did take me a long time to tidy these up in FortressCraft because about 9 different places referred to like what the sun was. You know, where calculate 6 colours. Hopefully I haven't derped anything. And it will very slowly lerp them. Really very slowly. Surprising. What's the rate on that? Oh, 10 times a second. Probably 10 times a second makes more sense. Okay. So in theory, that should work. That should mean... Oh, no. means that I can now keep an eye on that, and when the game runs, it should hopefully, as I said, if I stand in a green place, I should get purple and orange. If I stand in an orange place, I should get purple and green. If I stand in a purple place, I should get orange and green. Or the game's going to crash, you know, that's... But there is just so much work to do in so many ways. I love why I'm also getting lots of Unity errors, but I am on the latest cutting edge version of Unity, because when I ship the game, it won't be the latest cutting edge version of Unity anymore. It will just be the version of Unity. I mean, I'm gonna at a guess put that down as a great big did not work. Make it middle of the day. Main colour is yellow. That. Let's get that. So essentially, I love the No Man's Sky look. So, and that is called a split triatic colour scheme. Birds. But that might just mean that this one should be... Also, how do I set a range? Vector range. That helps, because that means that those, I drag them outside and the sliders become more... Alright, well that should be our... That's fine, so that... I can also do other palettes just by tweaking rotation 1 and rotation 2. They are the rotation around a colour wheel relative to the base colour. But rewriting stuff that's more usable is not just plow on. Oh. And stream games. I'm so glad I've got the chat integration with Discord. That works so far. I say as far as I know. I'm not actually looking at the chat anywhere else. So let me just bring up the chat. Well, just in case. So far, that restream bot's been really, really cool. Right, now we're actually getting 3 colours. As again, I'm now running on 5 screens. Losing my mouse cursor is really quick. Well, I stand in here in the green. It's afternoon. I don't know why I looked. It's afternoon. Right, that's definitely not right. I don't think. So it should look like No Man's Sky, which is, I think, was the Spectratic palette. But that looks more like a... I guess that would be a third rotation, wouldn't it? Because it's... Yeah, I completely forgot to remind everyone I was streaming, so... Whoops. That one looks alright. But this one looks totally wrong. So we're looking at the bar on the left. Once those look right, I will hook them up to what's on the right. So was this... Game's paused. Damn it. No, it isn't. Oh, I need to fix it. So right now I don't have access to my mouse cursor when hovering over the Unity window. If I pause it, the game pauses. I guess I could just put the rate up to... Oh. Oh, 1 second timer. That one on paused. Oh, it's fixed itself out. So from green, brown. Is it 0.66 there? That takes us to rubbish colour. What do I lurk by? Why am I lurking by delta time? I'm in a non-time step piece of code and then lerping by the time step. Let's just say... in theory, 10 seconds. That works fine as long as your frame rate's 6 to 60. That's what I'm doing here. A folk smash, you have to forgive me, I thought you were in England. I do have a bit of a slight mental picture where people are from. Arrakis, if you're still there, I am looking forward to playing Foundry. I like... So this is the important thing. Although I am arguably, and I love to have this argument, arguably the creator of the Logistics Factory survival game, I love them. I thought Satisfactory was too simple, but utterly gorgeous. I think Factorio is massively disappointing and overrated. I think Mindustry is probably the best game I have ever played. I love this genre of game, absolutely do. So if Foundry's cool, I'm going to play the shit out of it. You know, it looks brilliant. But I look at that trailer going, this is a lot of smoke and mirrors going on here. So I am, you know, excited very, very much for if it's any good, but it might not. So yeah, I have heard of it. I am interested. Just that at this point, I am, as I do with everything, I am taking everything with a big pinch of salt. Or a 0.8. 0.8. And that's kind of in my head what the numbers should be. That's in 0.45. If I type 0.45, I don't mean 45, do I? Bugger, what was the other number? No, it's gone. 7.5, I think it was. That's the colour scheme I'm trying to do. So that's 0.5, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I want to move by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 divided by 12. 4, 1. Hey, I wasn't far out eyeballing with my as. And 7 times 12. 5, 8. Okay, I was a little bit further. Now, I'm not inventing the wheel here, but that's how it should be. When you are at green for 1, you should be at purpley and orange. Is that right though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 and 7. Okay, that's good. Add the word picker to the... What? Oh right. Yeah, but it's not a word color. It's not a color picker. That's a color wheel, and then it's the specifically the complementary split triatic palette for that. If I go stand here, I'm expecting / hoping to see slightly magenta-y, slightly purpley. Yeah, cool. And there are lots of other palettes. Yeah, split complementary. That's the other one. In fact, that doesn't look far off. It's possible that green isn't quite right. But in theory, there's nothing stopping me using other color palettes. But the one that I found about, the splits complementary, I love it because it always looks right. And if you say to yourself, oh, those are some interesting colours. Yeah. Why do I recognise them? Yeah. Yeah. That's probably one of the more famous uses of this palette. There's your purple, there's your green, there's your orange. Everywhere, purple, green, orange, purple, green, orange, purple, green, orange. So when I play computer games, I always set my character up to be purple, green, and orange because you can't go wrong. It always looks good. It always looks a little. Unit 1. And then you've got light orange. I don't know which particular palette this is. Orange and blue are possibly this is the complementary color palette, but then you've got films love their orange and blue. Orange and blue looks good. You have a thing lit by orange and blue, always looks good. And then, but you see, oh my god, this is some. It's not even funny how many films go orange and blue, orange and blue, orange and blue, because it looks great. That's why if I do No Man's Sky, if I just have, it won't take me very long to spot the. Now they, on the other hand, have a much bigger. Orange, green, and blue. They, on the other hand, they have different palettes for different planets. Orange, green, and blue. So, you get the idea. But that should mean I now can set the colour of the sky based on the colour of where I am. I can also set the fog based on where I am. And if I make it nighttime, not that unhappy, but right now, by the way, we're kind of not that broken. That's good. I will do a commit though. I need to make sure I commit early, commit often. Of random hardware failures. Tidied up. Biome colouring and tinting. Hinging? So, apologies to those of you who regularly tune in for me repeating myself. But it also helps if I repeat it, because then when someone else asks, you can just say for me. I'm hoping to hit feature parity with FortressCraft Phoenix, sorry, FortressCraft Evolved, by June. So if it happens sooner, brilliant. If it happens longer, well, that's a bit of a shame. I'm doing all right. This is going fine. Everything's broken. I'm expecting it to be broken until June. That is the point at which I go. So hopefully, all good. Pieta, I promise you, I am just scratching the surface of colour theory. It is an immense and complicated system. It's just that No Man's Sky, you can see that, orange, green and blue. In fact, that's quite an obvious one. They desaturated it, but green grass always means orange bushes, and that always means blue rocks. And another planet will have green grass, orange bushes. Sorry, green grass, blue bushes, orange rocks. Oh, in fact, there we go. Green grass, orange grass, green mushrooms, blue things. Now, No Man's Sky has an awful lot more scope than I've got. A big team of people working very, very hard. Again, here, the engine thrust is blue because the sky is pink. And the thing is, I kept playing No Man's Sky, and I was like, there's no way this is all done by hand. So I asked an artist who explained to me, rather patronisingly, because I'm a programmer, I don't know this stuff. This is the sort of first year art. But you can see there, green, red and orange. No Man's Sky heavily went with the base orangey colour. But yeah, so No Man's Sky, you can pick any colour, and the other two colours always work, which is good. And that's the trick. So FortressCraft uses 7 primary colours for the different biomes, and the other ones, quote unquote, just work, which is cool. That should mean now it should mean that I can do mgrad sky tab, wait 3 seconds, value in thank you dot main color. Now I don't know if it's going to be main color or whatever. I will also do op dot value. Tell you what, might look cool. Picking a couple of colors, run around about. And you are never too old to learn. I only learnt this. I learnt this for... Oh, man, do I have a picture of it? Seconds. I did this for a different project. I didn't do this for FortressCraft. I did it for a different project. And I... I then use that system again and again and again and again and again in lots of different places. And as soon as my computer responds, oh my word, I just clicked on something, it's just like, yeah, I know. There we go. I started off on I do this. I work on other projects and then roll that into FortressCraft. So this is a project I did, a roguelike game. I was quite enjoying it, but it's one of those, I did it for a bit and then I lost interest, but it wasn't popping. So this was the same thing. This takes, you can see the beginnings of the same tech. You've got different colours of landscape in the background, and then the rock colour that appears there. So here we have a greenish landscape, an orangey rock, and a blue mushroom. So mushrooms are always one and the other. So I wrote that for a different project and then rolled that into FortressCraft tech. I don't know, I'm listening to something on YouTube. I'm listening to 2.5 hour John Carpenter's Style Synth Retro Mix, royalty-free, safe copy music. Royalty-free, copyright, safe music. Make it daytime. I noticed the sky. Oh, there we go. Cool. Bit concerned about that. It's done that a couple of times now. Oh, there we go. Again, I haven't played FortressCraft in a while, but this build has already had a ton of performance work done on it. That probably works. So the sky is now... Oh, let me turn off that horizon band because that is cheating a little bit. Actually, no, leave it on. It's okay. It's working. Yeah, so the generation performance is way higher than FortressCraft. So teleporting is now much better. Draw distance is wrong. I don't know what's going on. I'm worried about mostly I'm worried about the colour of the sky and the brightness. So the sky is not bright enough given the brightness of the landscape. I think realistically the landscape's too... If I put the sun to... There we go. And obviously the colours are fading way too quickly. The idea is it fades slow, so you don't really notice as you move around. Quite a few hive minds. That shouldn't happen. I should probably put in some cheats. I've died a few times. So, for those who remember, at the end of the last stream, we started to work on why are the torches' brightness just completely wrong, and then the code is so complex, I'd forgotten how it worked. So we will be going back to that at some point. Not right now. I'm just a bit bemused that the sound is so desaturated. But the sky isn't jarringly wrong. The sky looks alright. It matches in, the colour's about right. Okay, world graphics. How do I determine the sky exposure? Okay. -7, which again, I'm a bit confused why the sky is -7 exposure. Let's stand on the green stuff. Pick up my health. Now everything is too bright, as you may have noticed. I reckon -5 is about okay, but the sun is too bright. Let's change that to -5 and then work out what sets the brightness of the sun. Again, this is the new class that controls lighting, shall we say. Oh no, because yeah, okay, so we changed the colours but not the exposure. Not the brightness, and that happens there. Okay. I reckon that's 5. Where do we set? And this is like, I've just got this, that code there should probably be main col. We don't have that external to this class, do we? I think so. Probably put this side Unity editor code because that cheat does currently run in editor. You press right shift, it locks time, and then I get to control time myself. Utog. Alright, that's use external. Okay, that's just for okay, that's cool. That. Where? And I think I know the answer. I think it's inside the Unistorm code. Where do I set the sunlight's intensity? There isn't a skybox. There can't be a skybox, unfortunately. One of the issues with the fact it's a procedural game. What should happen? It should have the fog down, but the sky. Yeah, Unity Sky just fades to grey there, I'm afraid. But we don't have any atmospherics on at the minute, and that's their plan to cover it up. I do have a class called Survival Day-Night Control. Is that what messes with the light? Yeah, procedural games are hard because I can't rely on stuff. I can't rely on you just not digging up a stupid hole somewhere. Because this just controls the moon. Horrible feeling it's in Unistorm. All right. Oh, this. All right. The music manager turns on Unistorm. Yeah. No, we don't. Okay. Oh, we do. Did I just search here? Okay. Oh, sorry. I was inside Unistorm Weather System, not Unistorm Editor. Right. Okay. I'm very tempted to get rid of that as well. I want to kind of move towards more modular classes rather than this behemoth there on the right. Plus, to also a degree, it's quite nice to have one script calculate something and then another script look at it. That just works well. FortressCraft 2, graphics, let's call this... Yeah, so this is the thing. Forces precipitation does happen in an in-game week. How much does that break stuff? Oh, okay, it breaks it all in one area. That's not too bad. Public color, midday, sunrise and sunset. Is there a generic term for dawn and dusk? Like both of dawn and dusk together? I swear, she's been asleep in that box for a week, by the way. Genuinely. Think of treats that you love. Oh, you were behind the curtain, were you? She's, oh my god. Bounding across the room here. It went in. It's supposed to be a cat. I'll show you her trick, by the way. She does have one trick. How much over your trick? That's literally her one party trick, is you can stand on 2 feet and very, very gently take food. So, yeah, no, there's a term for word that means twilight. Yeah, twilight. But you generally think of twilight as the evening, but it is quite correct if that is both the. I guess it, maybe it means twilight is in the night and the day one. But anyway, that's cool. Because honestly, God knows what the sun is doing right now. It's just got some insane number like that. No, so Dora may have her foibles, but understands that the closer something is to my head, the less she's allowed to bite it. Example, toes. Toes are on the menu. In the camera bit. Yeah, so toes, she will actively run and attack my toes when I'm walking along. Love your box. She does love her box. But the closer something is to my head, the more that she won't do it. Fine. So fingers, that's alright. She won't bite fingers. Got it right? Oh my god. Actually, that's the filter color. What color is that? 55 244 214. Although now standing in front of my monitor. Back in your box. Yes, he just walked across my keyboard. Very much. I love you. But I will rewrite the code from the left for the right in its own class, so it's not mushed into other stuff. It will take into account all of the appropriate. Yeah, this might be the only one line this needs, in which case shove it in a new SC lighting class. You're damn right. I do want to redo the way the light works, though, because I'm not very happy with it. So, paint time. The sun in our game, it moves like at that. But if you were to look at it from above, so if this is your house from above, in the real world, the sun tends to move at like that angle. So the shadows do that. In FortressCraft world, the sun goes at that angle. I'd like to fix that, but not right now. Sun angle. Where is sun angle calculated? Sun angles the sun based off the user's input. Wow. So I emailed the Samsung people going, where's the courier? And they were like, here you go. Yeah, they forgot. Right, that's my... So my monitor is now being picked up on the 24th. Brilliant. Between 8 PM and 6 PM. Quality. Well, thankfully, it's a stream and you can rewind it. It was just feeding a Dora. Oh. Ah, right. Okay, so public float sun secondary angle. And also, if your job is to work in customer service, you should have basic English skills. This is what they wrote to me. There are no full stops. I'm sorry this hasn't been collected yet. It's seen the collection yet, not transferred to DPD, so they didn't know to collect. I've rebooked this for Monday for you. Again, please accept my apologies. One sentence. Hast isn't a word. Rebooked should have a dash in it. I turn around to watch her. She gives me the evil eye. And she stops. Ah, yeah, see that little pink ball? She loves those little pink balls. She... Huh? She's just staring. Ball is currently under the flap of that. Stop there while I write some code. Current time of day. All as much of this code is going as time goes on. Do we have a yes, the survival atmospherics actually that should be using. Although really, it should be in sun control, shouldn't it? I mean, that's a current time of day. I make that not public. And we'll move all that into the sun control class, which is a much better place to put public. We just anything that was referring to that can now refer to this. The goal is that in Phoenix, you'll have a whole ton of different planets. So each planet is more or less the difficulty setting. So you might have a constant night planet. So the mutators essentially will tweak the planet experience. Not a lot, but a little bit. Again, I want to try and keep things a little bit neater as well. So we'll call this update. But this code is scattered all around because I started off writing my own stuff. I then had to integrate Unistorm. I then had to unintegrate Unistorm because I realized what a utter disaster it was. So all the way through, I've got different sort of strata of game development. I'm trying to tidy it all up for Phoenix. As mentioned before, I am also trying to rewrite 7 years of code in 6 months. Well, I don't have to rewrite everything. The hard parts I'm just going to work out what to rewrite. Okay, so the current time of day. Okay, and I will. Let me. Working, but everything. Staring at me. Staring at me like, Father, throw the ball for me. Where is that? Uh-oh. We already had a function called Survival Day-Night Control. Oh, right, that's the seasons things. Right, let me, Got this as a class, but this doesn't, this only controls the moon. That's fine. So this will now use... Oh, what are you doing? You just stepped on my chair and leapt off again. And this is G. But I won't call it view Todd because that confused me. I'll vector Todd. Otherwise, I've got the statics hidden. Don't know what time of day is, if anything. It is nothing. All of this code now needs to go into there. So the calculation of that is gone. This wasn't working, you say, because the I was controlling the sun intensity in the old way. Now, I didn't write this code. all. There's no creative. I am planning on having zero creative. If anyone goes, oh, you should really add creative, I'll go and buy FortressCraft Evolved. No create. I am not supporting it. It is done and dusted. There are two very good creative games out there. If you want one, and oh my god, this code is so badly written. No case statements. I know if time of day is less than 8. But yeah, this code will disappear. I don't think any of this actually worked. Actually, very little code. Okay, so I'm also trying to stop having code that just sort of interjects a hack and then fiddles around with it. Sunlight dot burp. Target intensity. Fine. So we're now lerping using the right units. Previously, our intensity was an arbitrary scalar where 1 was just, 1. But now it's a proper one. Don't know what time stopped is or why we care. Basing ours off current time of day, which is well, that's going to need to change. So if you were a server, then stopped time but again, stupid code. The central power hub became a place to put generic code, and it's not necessarily a good idea. But what we should do is put a comment. This but will work. So we'll only execute that code if we are a server, which hopefully we are. And this should just Oh, we're in the Unity update, okay. Oh yeah, so this didn't work anyway. So that can go. Because all of this was already gone into Survival Atmospherics, and it's now going into a proper class. There's no chance I'm not going to break something spectacular. So, you know, epilepsy warning in advance. Oh. Thing. I never trust Unity, you say. Public light M. At this point, we don't have any concept of different days of foggy days, cloudy days. Different. So the plan is to have weather. I just point out Dora is sat on like a little buildy thing on my desk, cleaning her toes. She hasn't moved from those two places that I have on the camera in weeks. And the moment I'm like, Dora, could you just sleep adorably for the audience? She's like, I'm gonna sleep up here. I'd need to have like 20 cameras in my room I could just click through. That'd be so. None of that gets used. That now blats right over. Yeah, so we're updating that. Yeah, that's fine. So that update. Don't know what that comment means, but sun angle. There is a sun angle that's 1, 0, -1. Rather than this rather icky. Yeah. So, targetness equals math F. And I have started to use the math functions a lot. Go me. So this will be between the twilight intensity by that times 2. That gives us the range of 0 to 1 on the lerp. And this will be this is between 0.5 and 1. What is this code? The current time of day goes from 0 to 1 with I haven't got my comment, I need a comment. That seems right. And we don't have a sun in day sun scalar, which I probably. Yeah, so things like this, these power storage blocks, base how bright they are, based on where they are on the world. There's lots and lots of codes. It's all subtle and sort of predicating. But I want all of this class to go. I want to tidy up and remove this class entirely, as it's a complete clusterfuck of their original messy code and everything. Then we're actually messing with render things like ambient, like ooh yeah yeah. Don't know why I did it like that, but sure. Oh, there we go. So 0 is sunset, sunrise. So that I can now lerp off that. That's much easier. So I can just say day sun scalar day. Guessing. I'm gonna guess it needs to be negative 32,000. Otherwise, it'd be light for quite a way. I'm not sure. So, if day sun scalar is less than 0, now negative, and we want to start at midday and oh, this code is much nicer. I should probably just set this to time of day. Now, when is when? 0 at midnight. Okay, so I should probably just set the time of day to. Well, it's probably a good idea. If I do const float mid. It's this way, instead of saying if it's 0, I can say midnight. Self-documenting code. At EA, we weren't allowed to use booleans in function calls, because otherwise you end up with a function just goes do thing, true, false, not fake location, false, true. And it's unreadable. That's not self-documented. You would have to create an enum that would be like dot. Oh my god. Add fish. Something like that. So that's unreadable. That is completely self-documenting. So we weren't allowed to use true and false in boolean in functions, which is like, oh, that's a really good idea. Right, well, there's very little chance I haven't broken quite a lot. I'm worried that's working. Now in this case, this code will have to do something because this is controlling about air code. But I wrote that, so the code is actually slightly readable. Only place that used this is this. Yeah, I suspect I'll be on lighting for quite a long time. Again, if you are a super duper shit hot programmer and you really want to help me with the voxels, you're totes allowed. I am looking for someone to take over rendering of the marching cubes. And if you want to do that, totes. Oh man, my battery's got 8% left in it. Like my house battery. Not bad, it's got me nearly all the way through the day. Which is pretty good. Although I did literally throw everything I could at it last night. I got up to an insane like 10 kilowatts of draw. But I don't need to charge my car off daytime now. I can charge my car at night. But I've pulled almost nothing. Right now, I mean, the solar, it's a horribly overcast day and my solar has serious issues that I'm so upset with. But even there, now, my solar is producing the vast majority of my power. As I say that, I think a cooker or something. I get so many errors from Unity, but hey, that's their problem. Right, we get some NRAs. Oh, I forgot to attach that new class to anything, like the sun. Oh man, I just spotted another class called Sun Controller. Don't think we can use a slightly mad. I forgot I was using this. That's probably Griff's. I'm also getting better at signing stuff. Okay, no errors. Perfect. I mean, I'm just going to ship it like that. Right. It compiled, but and let me describe to you what I'm seeing. Green and pink. A lot of green and pink. Just green and pink everywhere. Oh dear. Okay, don't know what that noise was. Okay, I am going to need to persuade the game to give me my mouse cursor back. I'm not entirely sure why it's doing it, I'm afraid. Because now I can set the intensity of... Okay. Oh. Now this is where I run into issues. So the intensity is now no longer 128,000. It is 1,280. It is 10,000 times, or 1,000 times darker. Does it look any different? Does it fuck? So this is one of the issues I'm having. Because of the way the eye adaptation works, I've just made the sun 10 times darker. And yet, it looks the same. Right, I made the sun 10 times darker again. I mean, you'll notice, now it looks different. And to the point where I'm like, oh. Oh. I turned off the sun control script, and that looks, see that, well, it doesn't look good, but it looks better. I turn on the sun control script, and it does that. So is something still controlling? That's weird. Let me show the inspector what's happening. Let me show the inspector. So if I turn on my sun control script, it does that. It looks completely weird and broken and wrong. I turn it off, it does that. But why when I turn it off? As I said, there can also be a two intensities on lights now. Just to make light. But I no longer control. What's? Oh, hold on. All of that was controlling sun cloudy. And this is the issue with abstracted code. A light is a light. I cannot track where something else has decided it is going to tweak that light. No. That's all. Oh, unfortunately, that's not. If I make it daytime, and I mean, it looks cool. It looks alien, right? So the reason that looks okay is we now have. So this is where it gets confusing, and this is where I will explain to you guys what's going on, and you'll go, huh? This is with no light at all. What you're seeing here, sky lighting the world, not the sun. Yeah, I know. So if I make it daytime, that's lit by the sun. I put the light through a little bit. See the sun there. And if I make it, now I have no shadows. Cool, like we have nothing. This is just the intensity of the sky making it look like this. So this is why this is proving very difficult, because I'm constantly fighting various different things. So let me just turn the sky off. There we go. Now the sky is no longer lighting the world. And this is where it gets confusing, because what used to be called ambient now is kind of comes from the sky. So it's not sky, it's proper gradient lighting, or you can have a proper sky and so on and so on. But now when I bring the sun up, now we don't have any sky at all. So now you've got the issue, the sky is black, well it's green, but it's black. I make the sky brighter. And I'm constantly fighting all of these different things. Bear in mind, Jeremiah, got the issue that, I mean, if it's a very overcast day, the sky is not very bright, but your eyes adjust. And that's where it gets even more complicated, because I can make the sun very, very dark, and your eye will adjust. Okay, let's make the sky very bright. I don't understand why it's just green. Oh my word. It is disheartening though when I'm going around in circles trying to balance all these things, because in the old days ambient scene lighting was nothing more than a number you added to all the lights. That's all it was. Where am I? Let me make sure I am above 32 meters, because 32 meters is where I may have accidentally derped and made the underground start. So it could be the fog? Surface fog. Let's make the surface fog. I'm a little confused why the daylight is not doing its job. So let's make the surface fog. Yeah, see, that's once I make the fog very thick. And the fog is green because I'm on a green area. Just bringing the fog up. That's now 400, which is underground fog. And if you watch it, well, if you watch either the previous two streams, you're going to be like, well, didn't we do this in the last two streams? Yes, we did. That's 4,000 fog, 40,000 fog, 400,000 fog. So I put the fog to like 4 million. There's essentially no fog at all. Nothing is stopping that. It is a completely and utterly transparent thing. So now let's reduce the intensity of the sun by literally from 128,000 to 1,000. So literally the sun is now 1,000 times dimmer. Oh, you can see it just about beginning to come in. But you have this bizarre situation where the sky can be dark and the sun is light. Now, I can use physically modelled skies. I haven't considered doing, because I wanted to use the gradient sky so I control it myself. But I wonder if there's a more subtle hookup. I would really love to know what, if anything, is also controlling the sky at that point. The sun, sorry. So now I've made the sun actually quite dim, and it's still very bright. So let's also... made the sky very dark. Oh, I don't understand. I've just made the sky dark. Very dark. There's almost no fog. I mean, there really isn't. It's like 40 million. Oopsie. Turn off the freaking light. Let me turn off okay, the moon is off. Let me turn off the sun. It's the sun that's doing it, but the sun is now very, very dim. Used. So when I turn off sun control, all that means is I am no longer updating the light. And as you can see, just the values freeze. But something is definitely changing. I don't know what it is yet. Up. I don't know whether or not setting that enable is doing it. Partially turn stuff off. No, you see, this is the thing, Zebra. When people start talking about reflections, I mean this in the nicest way, you don't know what you're talking about. Because people, remember how often people are going, oh, everything's too reflecty. And I'm like, do you mean the bloom is too high? Yeah, it's reflecting. And like, it's not reflecting. It's not, it's much, much more complicated than it used to be. It really, really is very, very complicated now. So I've got a combination of the direct light, the sun, the indirect light, the sky, the eye adaptation, and anything else that is part of the equation. Yeah, I wish it was that complicated. If URP had volumetrics, I would not be using HDRP, but it does not. And this is also, we can get these glorious volumetrics, because then when they work, I mean, you can see that looks awesome. I mean, even that looks pretty good. Right, to daytime. Okay, so I'm now, if I turn off sun control, it's doing something. Okay, but is it the lerp? So if I turn off just the lerp. Yes. Something else is arguing or controlling or fighting. And not entirely, but for one, that looks really good just there. That looks great. and then stops looking great. So there's no chance I can just search dot intensity. Well, I can, but that's going to be all the lights in the entire thing. Yeah. And unfortunately, I can't search for just directional lights. Not using that. Because I'm doing lightning, I ain't using that. Error at me all you like, it's gone. That's torch light, that's all fine. Electric light, jet turbine, or extractor, plant entity, room light, yeah. Warning light, laser, external, sun control. So sun control are the only two places here. And when I turn that off, something else is definitely arguing with it. Faster survival. Okay, that only controls moonlight. Let's check that survival day-night controls. And I need to wait for an import. Let's check that that is definitely looking at the moon and not at the sun. Please do bring me back to Dev Studio. Survival day-night controller. Which? Roll. That does exist, but doesn't control the sun. I think this was beginnings of my tidying up stuff, but it's now gone into sun control. Probably all the code on the right should go into the left. Probably. But I'm sort of coalescing code from all different parts of the system. And let's not use like pulse, strobe light, segment object, boom, depth of field, screen space reflections. No chance we're using old SSRR, like zero. No chance. We are definitely going to be using inbuilt proper one. Oh, I can control the sun. I just need to work out exactly why. Oh, wow, that was all the code. What? I love this. Look. 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds so far waiting for mouse down. 7 seconds for mouse down, and then it didn't do it anyway. Line 152. I mean, Tad is right. I will get there. Sun angle. That's sun scalar. That should actually be called sun angle. But I was expecting this 2 steps forwards, 1 step back thing. That is completely expected. It really, really is. And a lot of it is me learning. But right now, well, it's something is fiddling with the sunlight. I'm sure of that, and it's an old piece of code that needs to go. The bit that's confusing me is, well, I don't know what it is. But when I disable my new code, the sun looks all right, and when I enable it, it doesn't. Which that's a little bit disheartening. Those of you who have or indeed played my game, I only give up when it boils down to this is a Unity issue. There's nothing I can do about it. But HDRP does look amazing. It genuinely does. Not necessarily, no. So he said if I deleted the sun and remade it, would everything controls it show up? Not necessarily. I mean, what you're saying is not entirely stupid, because I can disable the old sun. Oh, wait. Hold on. That's the sun off. This is part of the issue. With the sun off, that's not really what I was expecting, especially at midnight. I think part of the issue is that right now, the world, the sun, the sky is too bright. Ah, okay. I don't think I control... Right, okay. Remember I said I got distracted a lot? Well, that happens. So, we got as far as writing the atmospherics code to control the sky colour, but we didn't take into account the time of day. And I went to look for the time of day and then realised it was all over the place. So I've rewritten a whole bunch of code just so I can do this. Sun is that. Might want to lerp this, because what will happen, it will look a bit odd. Like we won't have a sunset. So what should happen is these colours should affect the colour of the sunset. So what we have is a very simple thing that says what biome am I in, that's what colour it is. I will initially try and control the horizon band in front of the sky, and if that doesn't work, I'll just control the sky. Raise it to the power of... Right, yeah, I mean... Not mess with that, let's just have it. So the sky will get darker as the sun goes down. The thing is, and this is where it gets tricksy, as I keep saying, we have eye adaptation. So if I make everything half as bright, your eye just adjusts. Just like in reality. This happened to me firsthand during the eclipse, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. Because it was overcast, and I was like, oh, it's okay, it will get dark. But it wasn't a total eclipse, it was 98% partial eclipse. But it happened so slowly that with an overcast sky, I couldn't tell when the eclipse happened. Because my eye, it was slow enough that my eye was adjusting. It was the most weirdly disappointing thing of my life. Like, why is my eyes been so good? Okay, so let's make it daytime. So anyone who bitches about bloom will just get sent back to these parts of the videos. So I'm having to judge what time of day it is, by the way, off of these blasted poles. Because, as I said, as the sun goes down, it gets darker, but my eyes adjust, so it doesn't look like it is. But it various intensities has changed. But now, I mean, the sky's the wrong colour. And there's nowhere near enough fog, which makes me sad, but just about see a little bit of it. As it goes down, yeah, Zebra, I am fully aware, but do you think that's important? Do you think I hadn't noticed? Come on. See, I wasn't expecting that. I look at that. Oh, okay. I'm hazarding a guess, even at midnight, the sun is too bright. Sorry, the sky is too bright. Oh, of course we're going the wrong way, because it's a negative number, isn't it? Okay. Okay, that's more tricky. What do I add it together? Not sure this is quite the right way of doing it. That means we now multiply together. You know, off the top of my head, I've no idea what negative 100 times negative 100 is. $10,000, yeah. But the problem is the exposure goes from -5 to -100. I want it so that when you're underground, it lerps down to dark, i.e. -100. But when the sky's up, when you're on the surface, it's then based on that, and it needs to all blend smoothly. I'm just trying to work out how I can do that. It might just be day-night scalar times lerped. Yeah, the problem is it might not be a negative number. So 0 is deep. So if we're on the surface, and it's, yeah, that might work. So we're multiplying together the day-night scalar with the depth. So if yeah, so that should be more or less taking the smaller of them. On the bright side, I'm full of positivity and cheer because mostly this is going all right, and I'm getting to tidy up really old code that I haven't touched in forever. And my morning was very productive because I got a whole. Why have I got 2 mouse cursors? What? What? Oh, that's not possible. There we go. One wasn't real. So yeah, the Astro Trucks work I did this morning was very productive. I bought some new assets, so I'm looking forward to playing around with that stuff tonight. Hey, that looks like nighttime. It's possibly a bit too dark, but hey. And that's fine. Perfect. Wow. The thing is, that doesn't even look that bright. To have bright, you do have to have him as well. So I think the sky exposure needs to be rethought, because you do have one quite. Oh. Yeah, 512. Thank you. Fix that. That does break, definitely. What was I saying? Yeah, so Astro Trucks work very well, so I'm looking forward to doing that tonight. And I need a drink. And I need to change the way it works a little bit, because it doesn't quite make sense, because the sun isn't pitch black at 9 in the morning. So I am going to... some bits of that day-night cycle, though, that are looking very, very sweet. Oh, can I have daytime, please? Not those bits. There's some cool stuff in that shot. But as there are some ranges of light that are looking... There's definitely at least one, at least a quarter of a second during that looks spot on and exactly what I want it to look like. Well, I'm gonna leave you to look at that for a moment. Actually, I'll make Dora bigger. So, yeah, we've got half an hour left or so. Camera down. I will tiptoe downstairs. She'll still follow me. Dora is a rescue cat, and she's lucky and loves. I wish odds was much better. I'd really like it if I could say track this cat and then just give my whole room. It just sort of. I mean, I'm sure there are people who've done that, but I'd love a sort of an auto tracking cat camera. We did have that wireless one, but that didn't really work. Right, so we're getting there. So now let's hook these numbers up externally, so I don't need to public float min. Now, this is where I should probably be doing reading on proper, suns and days and nights and all that crap, but I'm not gonna. So I've just noticed that my house battery is now being charged from the grid at 2 kilowatts. Why? Worst thing is I can't control it. Or like I'd have to go into the loft to fix it. What's it doing? Why is it doing it? I did fiddle with some settings, but I may be. So yeah, my house battery and stuff, it's a one-way system. I can monitor it, but I can't change it. I have to go in the loft and clicky bloody buttons. So I might keep an eye on that, and there might be another small break when I go into the loft and click the buttons going, what are you doing? I just got the battery set up like last night, but it's not supposed to be charging now off the grid, and it's not suddenly got incredibly sunny. It did it. It started to do it at 5 o'clock. Oh dear. Right. So the sun angle is 1 at midday and 0 at sunset, sunrise. That's not very useful. So we want the sky to be black at about but we want to have it stay light. How am I going to do this? I need to massage this number. So this is 0 when the sun is down. I subtract. There's our. That's a horizon. That's our horizon. Sun is here at 0. And there's the sun at negative 0.25. So at this point, we actually still want this number to be some number. So if I add 0.25 to that, that should mean it's 1 there, and then 1 till about here, and this would be 0.25. More than that, because that means it will go dim until but essentially that's a clamp there, so I should actually just clamp it by that does. And again, I know I do this a lot, and I know you've all sick to death of hearing it, but I know there are people who watch these streams back. What I'm attempting here is the sort of thing that 2 or 3 programmers and a couple of artists would have 6 months to do in a AAA project, or a year, or 2 years. So it's just me. So I am doing the best, but it is just Muggins here, who failed most of his school exams. So just a reminder, I can only do this because of patrons. You're all awesome. Thank you so much. Want to become a patron? The link probably appears once in a while. Thanks, Nightbot. I don't think it happens in the restream chat though. Yeah, thank you for those people who are patrons, because you are able to. I'm able to work on the game. Unfortunately, I am not able to hire anybody else to work on the game with me, as the patronage is not that much, not by quite a long stretch. If I could get the patron up to 4 to 5 times what it is now, I would be in a position where I could seriously consider hiring. When the sun moves, it's different. I wonder if the volumetrics don't like the light source moving really quickly. See that sort of wiggle forward back. Might have to reduce the speed of the cheat. That's cool. So when it works, it looks great. As you notice, it's doing weird things again. And even if I don't actually progress with the build any closer this week, I have tidied up the game a whole bunch. Meaning when I come back to it tomorrow or day after or in a week, at that point, it's much more likely I will be able to understand what's going on, as opposed to right now going, what the hell does this code do? So that's interesting. I suspect that to be brighter. Okay, so let's be telling it. Wow, that's unbelievably sensitive. That's 100%. That's 100% brightness. That's 99%. 98%. What the hell? I mean, that case. So this. Yeah, so, okay, well, I'm going to leave it at that for the minute, which says that nighttime is 4% dimmer than daytime. I think it's indicative of a more serious issue. Let's leave that. Current sky. I am going to have to go in my loft, by the way. It's now charged my battery by 13%, and that's expensive. So there will be another break. Well, you can look at Dora, and I need to go in my bloody loft. Ah, dear. What should let me look at the values? But yeah, I just need to make sure I haven't accidentally set one part of the day to charge, because I did set it up at 2 o'clock this morning. So you look at Giant Dora. I will be back in just a moment. What even is my life? Sorry, Popsy. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. Right, I don't think I've made any difference, but I have ticked some buttons. I think I have a picture of it in the Discord. 2 seconds. So the interface for the my solar and my battery is just the worst. It is absolutely. People bitch about programmer UI. This is one. It's just like, and then you've just got all these different things that just mean stuff, and they all have hidden overrides and things that mean different things. And yeah, here we go. But that's how I've got it set up. Now, if anyone can tell me why at 5 o'clock, exactly at 5 o'clock, it decided... Oh, it stopped doing it now. I just sort of ticked and unticked it, but I've told it now it's no longer allowed to try and charge from solar at this point. So gen is solar, or a diesel generator or a turbine, and grid is from the grid. Then you have a button marked use timer. You can untick use timer, and they're like, well, why is then it still shows the rest of it? It's awful. It's absolutely awful. But it's no longer charging my battery, but has managed to put a shit ton of charge into the battery. So all I've done is I unticked gen there, which doesn't make any sense, because it definitely, as I said, it's not like we have 2,000 watts of solar all of a sudden. Absolutely, like the whole thing, all of the UI all the way through is the worst thing ever. Stuff like this. It's got in and out and buy and sell. Like, what's out if it's not sell? Oh, yeah. But hopefully now, the thing is, the reason I went up is I'm now on a cheap nighttime electricity and expensive daytime. So it's just shoved in a quarter of a battery, which is not cheap. The weird thing is, it shoved it in much quicker than I was able to get it shoved in last night. So last night I tried to get it to charge at 2 kilowatts. It charged at 1. And now when I didn't want it to charge, it charged at 2. Yeah, at 11:30 it will start to charge up again. I'll keep an eye on it and see where it's going. I love batteries, so I'm like, yeah, I've got a massive battery in my house. I want some more. I have asked for some more, because I don't have enough to charge overnight and then run all day. I have enough to charge overnight, and if I'm behaved, pardon me, if I'm behaved, it runs at 4:30. That looks alright. Not amazing, but that looks alright. Stick that in because it's but yeah, I do suspect there might be something to do with the oh, bugger. Put it back where it was. Right, the current sky exposure is -8, which is interesting because I told it that the max is minus. Yes, if I go underground, so I'm now 21 meters above the underground. Current sky exposure. To be fair, it's pretty minimal by this point. Not doing it until about -30. Apparently, I was relying on the sky. something's definitely going weird. So what you're seeing there is I'm trying to make it perfectly black underground, so I'm balancing two sets of lights rather than an infinite sort of variety of lights. So what you're seeing there, it's getting lighter because I am just going to teleport. It's getting lighter because I am getting to the point where the sky is interacting with the ground. There is a chance, by the way, I need to do all of this again and push back to URP. That is possible. Burp is dead. I'm never doing built-in render pipeline ever again, but URP, possibly. Right, so we are currently at 12 meters. So day-night doesn't start till fog. Start to break, well, not break, but I think the fog comes on too well, strong. So fog is a concept of particles in the air blocking and refracting the light, so you can see a light beam or that sort of thing. It doesn't mean sky gets a different color, stuff gets a different color in the distance. It's significantly more complex than that, and I'm relying on that to make the game look good. So here, I think we go from not much fog to a lot of fog. How was it the next one that was breaking? Wow, my frame rate is just... yeah, it is to be expected. Oh, I see, it's working fine. The master color is coming down. Ah, there we go. Minus 64, minus 63. Sky exposure is minus 100. So yeah, so I've also got on top of that the fog, and then the fog has a color and but that just sort of went full to maximum. I've also mentioned before, there is zero guarantee at this point that this is working. This could be broken from a Unity point of view, but I need to do my best. Oh my god, my battery's charging again at 2 kilowatts. What the fuck? Why? Why? What the hell? I mean, it's only a couple of quid to charge the battery up. Well, no, about 8 quid actually. Oh, I'm coming up to the end of the stream anyway, so I might go back in my loft. But yeah, I persuaded it not to charge. Briefly, apparently. It's charging really fast. But yeah, I've read the manual for the solar system end to end, and it's manuals. The problem is it's a Chinese system that a company in South Africa have written a new thing for. But there's no reason. It happened exactly at 5 p.m. There's no reason whatsoever to do that. What I might do is push that 1700 up to 2355. Yeah, 8 quid for a full battery is quite expensive, though I guess I do get to take the electricity back out of it. but I lose 20% because, you know, battery efficiency. Anyway, I will go up there after the stream. I am not doing a follow-up stream of me in my loft looking at the electrometricity. I said I have the issue, I am controlling it from 2 different places, but assuming the fog is a constant, which it should be because I'm standing here. But yeah, notice when I notice the sun is moving and then snapping back. But the nighttime looks alright. No, pardon me, I did check the time. I did do that. I just don't know why it's doing this at this point. There's nothing in the settings, and as I said, what it needs is it needs about 4 priorities. So there is no way, for example, for me to not use the battery. So what I want is, if there is, you can't drop the battery below 25%. So if the battery is above 25%, use the battery. If the solar is bigger than the usage, charge the battery with the solar. But what it actually does is it will use the battery to make up the difference, and then when the battery drops below 25%, it then charges the battery from the mains back up to 25%, and then starts using the battery. So my battery is used 24/7, up and down, up and down, up and down, and there doesn't seem to be a way to fix this because this system is designed for places that get sudden power cuts. So for them, having plenty of battery is more important, and it's also designed for sunnier places. I'm like, right, okay, but this is just a priority system. And I don't understand why that setup that we've got is there. Just when it hits 25%, stop using it. Yeah, so. Anyway, that looks all right. Maybe we don't have a night. Not so good. Let me drop the intensity down. I don't know why I'm suddenly dealing with intensities 1,000 times smaller. That looks pretty good. What you've got there, your main issue, is the darkness is very, very dark because the sky isn't bright enough during the day. Let me lock that in. So I've just reduced this massively. And then we want to go to World Graphics. So let's make the sky a positive. Oh, ooh. So all apart from the fact that everything's too bright, that looks quite good. So why can't I reduce the sky and the sun? Why doesn't that seem to work? If I turn the sun off, okay. So I'm gonna make it darker. Watch my eye adapt. And it can't. See, that's part of the problem, is the eye adaptation. And I've been thinking about turning that off to balance myself within these values, because I think that's causing me more effort than anything else. But it should look cool, because the idea is that you balance for a dark, a light, and an indoors, and then it does a different thing. But yeah, then look, I just made the sun really bright, like mega bright. So we were at -7, and that's that game. Now I put it up to. You can see it's adapting as I do it. Maybe that should be bright. Maybe that should be a nice bright number, and so should the sun. I've just put the sun to some ridiculous value, like a supernova going off, and you notice that's not making a difference at all. Like it hasn't changed anything. Now I'll make the sun really, really dim to go, really dim. It shouldn't matter what it is. It's all relative, I think. Sun's getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. 1,000. But yes, that looks cool there. Like that looks. I just need to get it so it looks cool more of the time it looks broken. I think I'm going to turn off eye adaptation, as I think I'm balancing it and then standing somewhere else and fighting it. So we will turn off eye adaptation entirely. Sorry, exposure. Well, we'll make it fixed, because then I can at least, I can tweak it. But it just means my underground will actually be quite light. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just have it as fixed exposure for a 0 with 0 compensation. Yes, 7, just because that will pull us into the range of the middle of the buffer. I don't want to have it too bright because you can blow it out and you can have it too dark. Just a reminder, I am doing an Astro Trucks stream in about... break my stuff. I am doing an Astro Trucks stream in about 3 hours. Patrons and friends of the channel are absolutely welcome to come along. I did do quite a lot of fixes. Work. So let's make it daytime. Still looks awful, but at least it looks... As long as it looks consistently awful, I should be. Now as I go... See, that's better. As I go bright... It's not flickering up and down. And if I go, minus 100, I get a pack every time. So let me turn the sun down to somewhat more sensible values. Actually, no, they were sensible values, but let them turn down to small values. The problem with HDR, you can end up at the same time having like ultra thick fog and then like unbelievably bright lights, because that's the other thing, is fog is exponential. So I may have to end up tweaking these, because I do want a foggy and atmospheric game. That is absolutely one of my but let's make this, back off. So this is middle of the day. So let's try and find something that looks right there. Okay, so I'll come up with 35,000. Doesn't look too bad. Add back in. Possibly too bright. Also reduce the What do we reckon? Does that look about right? Admittedly, this is on a day with no atmospherics. So, just in case I forget, the maximum sky exposure is 8, and the sun is 25,000. But what I also want to do is, what's it like if it's foggier? Oh, that's not what I'm expecting. That's very foggy. Depth. Oh. Right at all. Like, that's just gone green as opposed. What it should be doing is providing somewhere for light to reflect off. So we just flip through to nighttime. So then all the base lights should turn on. Then all the base lights. Oh, maybe they're too dim. Well, I don't know why the base lights are start working. They might just be the wrong form factor. But that looks alright. What I'm not happy with in the slightest is the lack of fog means that we are not getting any atmospherics. The idea is when you stand here, you should see, you know, on a foggy day, things coming out. I have done this on a few projects before. It does take quite a lot of hours, but obviously FortressCraft is a dynamic game. I think the fog is taking the colour of the... Ooh, because I thought I walked inside. Let's just ignore the fog. Basically no fog, but that looks alright. I'm so confused. Now I'm not making the sky any dark. Well, okay, that is too bright. But that's 99%. Maybe... Yeah, maybe 98%? That doesn't make any sense. Why? Why? Sky exposure is 7. And at night time, the sky exposure is 6. Oh, this is a exponent. I suppose, because I think the difference between 5.8 and 7 is like 2.5 times brightness. Oh my god, my battery's half charged. Close, it does kind of look right. Also, if you've not watched it before, there is a lot of this in game dev. Just sitting here, day night. So when, you know, no offense, Seb, I'm going to pick on you. When people are like, have you noticed that the HUD is going different colours when it's day and night? Yeah, like 1,000 times. I notice that every single time. So, yeah, this is game development to a large degree, is just doing the same stuff over and over and over. Okay, so the midday intensity will be 25,000. The max sky is 8, and that is 0.98. Oh, great, I've just advanced level 50 typing in. So midday is 25,000. Twilight is a tenth of that. And the other one was maximum sky is 8. So one last thing then. Let's make this full screen. Make sure I haven't totes broken it. And I'd just say again, I am streaming again in about 3 hours for a different game. Because I'm working on Astro Truck 7 days a week, but I'm working on FortressCraft on Fridays, so that means I have to work on Astro Trucks before and after this stream. Yeah. So please do feel free to pop back along. Friday nights are our planned big network tests for Astro Trucks. So that's looking alright. That's looking like an early morning. There's some horribles going on there. But yeah, I want more mist. That is a problem right now. Let me just double the fog. See, it just gets darker. But as the sun comes up, you see, should be seeing shadows cast through the air. Let me now put it to 1000. You see, it's getting even dimmer. See, the eye adaptation might be not optional, but I think I should tune it without eye adaptation and give it a little bit. Because then, as the fog rolls in, the why? As I go underground. I can't actually see the sunlight cutting through the air, which might be a relative factor of the sky. So maybe the moon will. So maybe if I just enable the moon. I didn't expect to see something when I did that. Okay. Where's the moon? Why can't I press Alt Spacebar to tag maximize? Where's the sun? Oh, because the moon doesn't move anymore. The moon needs to be a child of the sun. Yeah, there's the moon. There's the sun. Right. So where's the moon? Is that? Let me turn off that there. I am aware that that's not correct. You could just say lunacy, which is what the word's based on. I love this. It's telling me the lighting's failed because only one that can cast a shadow at a time. Apparently not. Well, I guess we are a little closer to where we want to be. I'm just going to put tons of fog on a moment and then also put... Yeah, so I've now got insane lighting and the fog is completely blocking it out. I don't know where the pinks come from. And I don't know why they've stopped glowing. So yeah, I'm getting... In one hand I'm getting there and on the other hand it's got worse. Thankfully, as I... Oh, wow. Daytime? Oh, right, yeah. So this is still being affected by the day, by the colour of the sun, and the colour of the sky. I have no idea what's going on with that pink. And then it's 64. There, I bet it goes... But now the torchlights are wrong. Well, overall, I'm just going to unmess with those numbers and then run it again. Overall, I reckon that's pretty good. I think we have, and by we, I thank you all for your comments. Overall, I think we've done pretty well. The day and night both look, well, they don't look completely broken. Wait, is the... Why is my car charging? Please hold. I wonder if there's just been a... Sometimes you get like a surprise cheap rate. But there doesn't seem to be one. I don't know why my car was charging. Like, I don't know who told my car to start charging. That's very a fairer way of saying it. This should work. I don't want to have to mess with this stuff. This stuff should just work. Yeah, for some weird reason, 12 hours ago, yeah. So I'm on a tariff where there can be, as I said, surprise cheap rates. But I don't know whether or not Octopus started to make it charge. Oh, maybe the Tesla thinks that... Maybe the Tesla thinks that in the UK, cheap rate starts at 5. No, I told her. I've said enable scheduled charging, start charging at midnight. I think, honestly, I'm just going to do it by hand for a little while. So, departure. So, I've turned off all of the scheduling. It's weird. The Tesla does all this stuff, but it doesn't have the obvious thing of just charge between this time and this time. You have to say, this is the time I want to leave. And you're like, well, I'm not. Okay. I'm kind of pleased with that effect that we came up with there earlier. That looks all right. So we had to have a little bit of glow. Let me, so those should be foggier. But that looks all right. That looks all right. That looks all right. I'm just disappointed we don't have any fog at all. Fog is important. I say. I don't think it was fog. I think it was dust in the atmosphere. I think of atmospherics, not fog as in the old days, as in covering up the draw distance. I do need to fix that. Oh, did I break the shader for it? Maybe that's what we should do next week. We've got the lighting, somewhere within an order of magnitude of being correct. So we should start work on the far field, because I have improved it in a different game and push it in. So I'm just going to commit all of my changes. I'm still not in the position where I'm making builds, but we're getting there. We're getting a bit closer, because now, important, now you can actually walk around in the day and the night and see where you're going, which is a step up from as it was last week. So I am going to go and work out what the bloody hell is wrong with my house. Thank you all for coming. I guess if anyone does watch the end, if you're watching it back, let me know, because I will do stuff differently if people are watching it back than if people are watching it live. Breakdown is. And I will see some of you, I'm sure, in 3 hours. 3 hours for Astro Truck streaming. and some discussions about general ships versus specialist ships. But I did do quite a lot of work in the last week on that, so I am looking forward to playing it because I do like playing Astro Trucks. So you're awesome. See you all back, especially Flabbergasted. You're the most awesome. Dora will say goodbye now. What? Big stretch.